Hello everyone. Right, something that I need to discuss with you all today. What on earth has happened to my MAF training? Don't go anywhere, let's talk about it. So welcome back people, thanks for joining me once again. This is Stevo here, also known as the Running Englishman. I'm simply here to inspire you to be the best and fittest versions of yourself. Because if I can do it, then you can too. Firstly, apologies for the no video last week. Life's just a little bit hectic at the moment. There's a lot going on. I was also nursing a bit of an ankle injury last week, so I literally couldn't find the time in the day to get a video done. But there's been a bit of movement in my MAF times that I just want to discuss with you and get some maybe get some tips from yourselves as well. Because it's all still a learning curve for me, even after 7 to 8 months of sort of base building. So that's what I wanted to discuss with you today. So first, let me explain to you where my MAF has got to last year before I decided to make some changes on New Year's Day. I basically had good progress last year, and I tried to get more miles in too suddenly by adding more mileage to my routine. I added a day to it, so I was running 3 days, I made it up to 4. I also added a mile or two onto each of the run to try and get from sort of 20 miles to 30 miles. And this is all because I wanted to ready myself for potentially running a marathon this year. That's still my aim. But doing the quick adjustment like that, my body was actually crying out for and giving me all the sort of signs that I was overdoing it. So how did I know this? My resting heart rate had gone up by sort of 8 to 10 sort of permanently, and my times went backwards rapidly, but I just kind of ignored those things, just thinking that your body would adjust and eventually it will all straighten out and come back into line, but that wasn't to be the case. My body felt fine, but my heart rate was saying otherwise. So after my Christmas busy spell at work, which I spoke about in previous videos, I decided to sit down and make a proper plan so I could try and get back to where I was before the times went tits up. So I knew that I could be doing better than I was, because I had been down to sort of 8-minute miles, just above 8-minute miles, sort of months before that. And since making a change, I'd gone back into the 9s and nearly to 10. So I knew that I could get down to there again, but I didn't want to go taking away days and hours and stuff like that again and literally start from the beginning. So I thought I'd sit down and make a proper plan to try and get everything back on track. So a fresh start for me in the start of 2021 was the goal. So the first thing I did was cut back the mileage. So I was doing 30 miles. I know that's not a lot to a lot of you people doing MAF and people doing double that and stuff, but that's probably a bit too much for me, as I'm fairly new to this sort of style of running. And I was seeing better results when I was at the start, when I was doing sort of 20 to 22 miles, which is a very small amount, but that's when I was starting to get my pace, my average pace was dropping rapidly when I did it like that. So what I'd done was I cut my miles down from 30 miles to 25 miles. And my plan was to do that for 2 weeks. And then every 2 weeks, I would add 10% on. So it's the standard amount to add on when you're trying to build mileage up without going too far. So 2 weeks of doing 25 miles, and then 2 weeks later, I would do 27 miles. And I'm happy to build up that slowly. I mean, I said about a marathon in May, but it's probably unlikely to go on. I don't feel comfortable with doing that one with how everything is at the moment. But I'm happy to build up slower than that with no sort of race in mind just yet. Just when I'm ready to go out and do a marathon, then that's the plan. So doing it every 2 weeks, going up by 10%, just seems like the right idea for me. The second thing I did was add in a speed day. Anyone that has been following this channel or has a look at my Strava or whatever will know that Saturday is my speed day. It's my favourite day of the week. I absolutely love that I've introduced that, and I feel like it hopefully starting to make a difference. I do love to mix it up, and that's my favourite run of the week by a mile. And especially after I've been base building for sort of 7 or 8 months, it's a breath of fresh air to go and get some of those fast ones done. The third thing I'd done was sat down with a pencil and just really thought about it and structured my workout week so that I could do some different variations of runs that I do, but also split them up so they're far enough away from each other to not make the next run hard. So it's quite simple. My running week starts on a Monday and finishes on a Sunday. Monday is just a rest day because it's just Monday. Tuesday is long run day, so at the start of this new regime, starting at the 1st of January, I'll do like a 9-mile long run on a Tuesday because that's my day off, so that's sensible. Wednesday is a rest. Thursday morning at 5 a.m. or 5:15, I'd go out and I'd do a 6-mile MAF run. So that's my 143 heart rate, nice low heart rate for 6 miles just before work. And then another little break on the Friday. Saturday is, like I just mentioned, is fast run day. So I'll do like a 5-mile run there of different types. I can do like a time trial or some like a pyramid run I did the other day, which is great. Or just some sort of simple intervals and that as well. And then Sunday will be another MAF run. It's like a recovery run. The MAF runs are sort of fairly slow anyway, so you're happy to hang around sort of 143 heart rate or just under on that. So that's my 4 runs a week, and that would tally up to 25 miles. So 25 miles I did for that 2 weeks, and then all going well, I added 10% on roughly, give or take. So I did 27 miles for 2 weeks after that. So that's a block of 4 weeks. And someone kindly reminded me on Strava or YouTube comments, I can't remember which one quite, about having a down week. So down week is when you've been building your mileage up like that, and you have yourself a week off where you just cut everything back by about 20 to 25% back after that. So you have a week where everything's a little bit easier. And it just gives your body the proper chance to recover and take on all the new work that you've done. And then in turn, at the end of that week, you're ready to start the sort of upped mileage by 10% once again. So it's 4 weeks on, 1 week off. Simple as that. So the fourth and final change I made, which was not even nearly planned, but something that seems to have just fell into place. Last week on that pyramid run I mentioned, I probably went a little bit hard on the sort of 1 mile one, and I was going a bit too hard for what I'm used to sort of recently. And my legs felt fine when I got back, but when I got up off my sofa like a proper old man, I felt like my sort of ankle was just seized up. So I decided not to try and aggravate that anymore. And with that, I thought I need to do something just to keep going. Even though it was a down week, I could have maybe just rested, but I didn't want to do that just in case it knackered the whole 4 weeks and wasted time. I brought in my spinning bike from the shed and done 2 or 3 sessions on that just to keep the exercise going, basically. Now, I don't know why I've never thought about getting a bike out before and giving that a go, because I just always assumed that I'm doing MAF running, I'm just going to run all the time and go ahead with that. But what I quickly realised is it took a bit of doing to get your heart rate up. Funny enough, it took 15 minutes for my heart to get up to my MAF sort of zone, at the bottom end of my MAF zone. So maybe that's why that warm-up that I say about doing a 15-minute warm-up all the time works so well. Maybe that just gradually gets you into that area. But surely it can only be a good thing. You're not resting your legs, but you're taking the impact off of your legs, and you're working at the bottom end of my MAF numbers of 133. I was hanging around that sort of area, 133, 135. So yeah, that's what I did for 3 days, and it felt good to rest the old legs. I did get some running in towards the end of the week, but we'll talk about what the effect maybe has been of being on the bike for a few sessions instead of running. So now to the point of the video why I made it. Sorry if the headline was deceiving, because it obviously sounded like it was all negative, like what's happened to my MAF, but I'm pleased to say that it's all been positive since I started this. My MAF times have improved, and more substantially and quicker than it has through the whole of the process from the start, when it was like 7 or 8 months ago. And I do believe that that's just completely from making those little changes on the 1st of January. And that is all during this first 5-week training block part that I put together, just the first section of it really. My times have gone from anywhere from probably 9:25 up to 10 minutes sort of average pace. This was going on for months and months after I made the first adjustments of doing 30 miles a week. And my times recently this week have gone down into the 8:40s, so I'm looking at like over a minute average pace per mile sort of lost over the space of this first 5 weeks. And I'm so dead chuffed with that. I can't even tell you the last time that I got down into the 8s. I'd have to look right back on my my Strava or my Connect to see when I last did it in 8s, and that was like a 6-mile run, so it was like a real short one. So I'm dead chuffed with that result so far, and I'm like hopefully never to return to the 9s again. We'll soon see, and I look forward to updating in a few weeks to see if this is still the case. At the same time, my VO2 max, when I measured it on probably the end of December or the 1st of January, VO2 max was 49, which it had gone down. So I obviously wasn't getting fitter, it's getting worse. They might not be completely believable, but they're definitely a good gauge of when your training's working. My VO2 max as of today and yesterday was 54, so it's gone up by 5 points over the space of 5 weeks. So with that, I'm not exactly sure what has caused the sort of upturn in progress on this. Like it could be a blend of all those things. I know that cutting back the miles was definitely helpful because I had success with that before, and my heart rate instantly sort of went down to where it was before I messed about with my MAF the first time round. Maybe the speed work once a week is just give it that little push. You hear a lot of people say about once you've sort of gone stale, do some speed work and it gets it sort of moving again. Maybe it's the extra hours I've put in. I've done a couple of hours on the bike this week. Maybe that, just hanging around. I always run at like near to 143, and probably people would say, oh, you need to be below it. But Floris Gearman says that you do it, the nearer you get to that, the sort of better progress you have. So I've always followed that, and I go near to my 143 and push my luck slightly. But maybe the cycling I've been doing, just hanging around 133 at the bottom end of my MAF, maybe that's just what I've needed. But my heart's just been running, ticking over at a lower rate, and it's made it more efficient when I get out to do the running again. Surely the extra work on the bike like that can only be beneficial for it. It's just like you're doing more miles without battering your body doing it. But I will be monitoring my resting heart rate to make sure that adding the cycling, so I'm going to add the cycling into my routine now just for a few days a week, just to see if that's been helpful for it. And what I'll have to do, learn my lessons from the past, I'll just be keeping an eye on my resting heart rate to make sure it doesn't start craftily sneaking back up again. If it does, then I'll know that I'm overdoing it slightly once again. Okay, just one quick side note. My little baby is due on the 24th of this month. It's like 2 weeks away, or like two and a half weeks away. My little baby is going to be here. What am I doing? I'm gonna have to, the bike's going to be essential for me now, really. I can't just go disappearing in the morning during feeding time and stuff like that to go on my runs, which take time. So the bike's probably going to become part of my routine even more now, and that's the perfect time. It just feels like it just fell into place and meant to be, with getting injured, bringing the bike in, now realising that the bikes could be a part of my training routine. So that is it from me. I'm sorry if this has been long-winded. I'm sorry I've not been outside today. It's really windy to try and do a video today, believe it or not, because it looks so nice and sunny. But that is it from me. I appreciate you all joining me once again, and I look forward to updating you in a few weeks to see if this is still the case, or it still keeps dropping, and I know that I've hit the nail on the head with the new routine that I've put myself in place. So thanks for looking at my channel. If you haven't liked it, or if you haven't subscribed, please do that now. Follow on for a journey and think about getting involved yourself. And also let me know if you've done any low impact, different kind of cross training or cycling to add to your MAF. So you're doing it mixing with your running, and did that have a good effect on yours, or did it have a bad effect on yours, basically? So let me know. I'm always interested to hear it in the comments. So, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining me, Stevo.